I got to warm up to being on camera again. I just tried to turn on this camera and I had no idea what to say, but I want to show you what I'm doing right now. So I'm in Katahdin. I can't even really show you because the forest is so thick here. You can't even begin to see the top of the mountain. But we're in Baxter State Park up in northern Maine, about to hike what might be the biggest, tallest, baddest mountain in the Northeast. Technically, Mount Washington is taller in New Hampshire, but you can literally take a road up to the top of the mountain, so I'm not even sure that counts. Katahdin here is in the actual wilderness of the Northeast, so everyone says that this hike is supposed to be absolutely brutal. I don't know if that's true. A lot of mountains are over exaggerated. They say this hike it's only like 5,500 feet above sea level, but they say it hikes like a 14,000 foot mountain from Colorado, something like that. That sounds like an insane statement to me, and it might just be people from Maine who haven't been over to the Colorado, stuff like that. But I don't know. So I'm trying to come prepared today. There are two things here. First, a ton of mosquitoes, which is why we are wearing long sleeves, even though we're probably a little bit overdressed for how warm it is. It's about 60 degrees right now. We're wearing some long underwear as well. Hopefully protect myself from getting ticks on me and Lyme's disease. And we're gonna start this hike, and I know it's also gonna be really cold at the top when I get up there. So brought a sweatshirt as well. This might be intense. This might be seriously intense. So we're gonna get started right now. Also, as we start walking, I'll tell you real quick. The guy said, it was like 8:30 when I was rolling in through the gates, and the guy tells me, oh man, you gotta get rolling. It's getting late to hike the mountain. It's like 8:30 a.m. It's like 9:15 maybe right now. And it's late to start the hike up Katahdin like that. It sounds like an intimidating statement to me. I'm pretty sure the whole hike's only like 10 miles, which shouldn't take 12 hours. Yeah, a little bit scared, but let's get started. This is the trail starting right here. And now we are on the start of the Appalachian Trail, the very northernmost point of the Appalachian Trail that goes all the way down to Georgia, which is insane to think about. That's so wild, man. Let's go. As you're coming on this journey with me, hopefully you can feel a little bit of the excitement in the air, because this is special. This is special. I met a couple Appalachian hikers a few weeks ago in northern New Hampshire, and this girl specifically, she came down from the mountain and she'd been on the trail for 3 months, hiking all the way since Georgia and northern New Hampshire. She says, I'm hiking to Katahdin, so they might be here right now, but the look I saw in her eyes, my gosh, it was so clear. There was no interference, there was no distractions, no stress from the outside world. When you spend 3 months in the wilderness, you get to get your priorities straight. Her eyes, like the eye of the mountain woman, it was so striking. Hopefully we can find a little bit of that. This is only a day hike today, a hard one, but just a day hike. And that means that hopefully we can lean into that inner wild just a bit. Check out the river here on my right. You can see through the trees just a little here. I've only been hiking for a few minutes, and I can already tell how easy it would be to get lost in this forest. Like, here's a little bit better side of the river. But you look around real quick and look how thick this place is. I've only been hiking for a few minutes, and I'm already noticing, like, man, without this trail, it would be so easy to get lost in this forest. And I like to bring that up because first, if you are lost in the forest, you find a river like that, you follow it to the bottom. That's your highway through the woods. That's how you get out. But if you're from a place like I'm from, like I grew up in northern Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, California even, Oregon, all these open forests, then you don't understand how easy it is to get lost in some of these different kind of deciduous forests, like in the Northeast. Or the first time I really felt it was when I was on the Olympic Peninsula of Washington, going through Olympic National Park. It is so easy to walk a few hundred feet into the woods and look around and be like, I have no idea where I am right now. Which is important to bring up, because if you're from one of these open forest concepts and you're used to being in the woods, you might think, like I used to think, how do you get lost in the forest? You just go down the mountain. It's so easy. But the first time I went to Olympic National Park, it was like, oh my gosh, I get it. these places, they're so thick and they don't have the elevation to be able to guide you like a lot of the forests in the West. So normally I'm a big fan of off-roading and going to find your own places out in the woods, especially when you're on public land. But when you're on trails like this in Katahdin that are thicker forests, you better be careful, because you better know where you're going, because without this trail, I would be gone. I would disappear in this forest. I'm getting distracted already and going off trail to see this stuff, but it's important to do it while we still got energy. So I'm gonna be dog tired very soon, and I'm not gonna have the strength to go see every waterfall. That's cool. It's like the skeleton forest up here. Look at all this. I'm probably about 2.5 miles into the hike now. I just saw a 1.1 mile sign. Back a bit. Been hiking for a while, so I'm guessing. But I gotta tell you what a difference it makes to come into these hikes prepared with a little bit of a light exercise in the night before, light meal, don't eat too much. If you scroll back and watch my last big hiking video I did on Mount Mansfield in Vermont, I was just suffering through the first half of that hike. It was steeper, but it was probably an overall easier hike. And the reason why is because I tried to rest almost too long the day before, where I didn't do anything. And then the meal I had was like some big pasta meal with a chocolate bar for dessert before I went to bed. And I woke up the next morning just dying as my body burned all that stuff out of my system. Last night, I had a little ham and cheese tortilla wrap with some tomatoes and lettuce. Didn't eat much else through the rest of the day. Had a really light workout in like late last night because I couldn't sleep. And I'm at 2.5 miles now, hiking, feeling good, sweating, working up a good sweat, but it doesn't feel like the kind of sweat where I'm suffering. It's just a light burn. Reminded me to stay present, and I love it. Makes a huge difference how you prepare for these hikes, so then you can get to the fun part of them a lot faster, where things get a lot easier. Time for my first water break of the hike. Oh, when I was younger, I would power my way through these hikes, through basketball games, through every athletic feat I did, where I'd be like, I can go without water. I don't need to rest. I need to push to the top of this mountain and then just feel the burn, get through it, and then to suffer a little bit, it'll be good for me. But the older I've gotten, the more I've started to value longevity more and more. I guess maybe the more mature I've gotten, the more I value longevity over the short bursts. I want to be able to do hiking for a long time. I want to be able to do business for a long time. I want to be able to last for a long period of time, live a full life. And while I think it's really important to learn how to suffer, to learn how to do things when you feel bad, I think being able to continue doing something at a good level for life is more effective than being able to do something at a super high performance level for just really short bursts and then having to recover for days and days after that. So, well, part of me wants to keep hiking, wants to keep going. I gotta do it. I'm trying to force myself to take a break right now and breathe, get some water in my system, because I know this way I'll be able to make it to the top and back down without having to rest for like 5 days after this. All right, here we go. Look at how ridiculous this is. I'm literally hiking up the middle of a stream here in, oh my gosh. Crazy, man. Every hiker knows that wet feet is the bane of their existence. So when you're hiking up the middle of a stream, you gotta practice your parkour skills. You gotta be like, whoo, touch only the rocks. Ah. It's so fun. Hiking is so great. Teaches you how to move. I think that's something a lot of people have lost. Movement is so important. But when you don't get up off the couch, you forget how to move side to side, up and down, across the gap, up over the corner. Oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like to be alive. Not the big hiking boots that lock you in and trap you, but to be out and move through the ecosystem with some freedom where you make up your own path. I don't know how much battery I'm gonna have left now, so I'm gonna turn off the camera until we get up to see the first view of the mountain. So I want you to see that really bad. I think we're finally about to do it, about to get above tree line. The trees keep getting shorter and shorter, so I know I'm getting higher, and I can see my first glimpse of the other mountains through the trees, which means we're getting close. Almost. This will be the first time I think I've actually gotten a view of Katahdin. So we'll get to do it together. Lay eyes upon the mountain that we've been hiking for the last hour for the first time. Here we go. Come on. Come on now. Now this is where you dial it in. No more water breaks right now. Now we're too excited. Come on. Ah! Oh man. Oh, it's so awesome. Oh my gosh, that's so freaking beautiful. Oh, and if you look up way above my head, you could just see what I think is the top of the mountain. I can hear people coming down. So we're getting close. We started way down here in the valley with all the lakes. Oh my goodness gracious. If the view's like this right now, it's gonna be even more insane up at the top. So, as tempting as it is to sit and stay, to look at this for a bit, I think I'm gonna finish out. See if we can finish out before we take the next water break, because I'm still running on fumes here. But hopefully we're close. What's up, folks?
How's it going?
Sweating, bro.
Huh?
I'm sweating is what I said.
Oh yeah, me too. I already changed once.
Whew.
Like going up to Jimmy Pond. Hi.
You're good, brother.
Cross nice. Down Helon or down back
Come on. I haven't even hardly been able to hold the camera to show you how intense this hiking is getting. But look at this. It's just these huge boulders now with like chasms in between them. This is danger, but there's just chasms. Like the level of you fall, you die. Don't hike me if you're not prepared to pay the price. I love mountains like this. Oh, so it's making it work. But I did see the peak. I thought way down here was the peak, but it's actually over this slope and then a really tall pointy set of boulders way up there. We're making it one rock at a time. I sing this. There's an old Christmas movie. I don't know what it's called, but it was a claymation Christmas movie where these kids are with ice king and they start singing, "It's put one foot in front of the other. That's what I always say whenever it gets a little rough. Just one foot in front of the other, and we'll make it. And we'll make it. Oh, that is the peak of the mountain that you've been waiting to see. It can be super tempting when you get up to the top like this, or sort of the top, and see the peak and think, I gotta keep going, I'm almost there, I can't stop, can't break. But it's important not to go there before you got here, is the way I like to think about it. You gotta show up here first before you put yourself on top of the mountain, because it could be so tempting to grind through. We're almost there. But reality is that I haven't made it yet, so I shouldn't put myself up there until I take a little moment to look around and say, this is pretty nice too. That though, that's gonna look real nice next. So I'm gonna take a moment, breathe, and then we're gonna go see if we can pass up all these hikers. I think they can get ahead of me on this side. That's such a cocky thing to say. I'm joking, I promise. We're gonna go though, take a minute, and here we go. I was tricked again. I thought this was the top of the mountain. It turns out we gotta go all the way over there. Let's keep going. And here we are at the top of Katahdin. My camera is quickly running out of battery here, and I don't know how much longer we got, but this is the top of Katahdin. Wow. What I'll tell you about Katahdin is one of the hardest hikes I've ever done, ever. Going down is going to be savage just because of how steep it is. It's only about 10 miles, but oh my gosh, this guy just finished the Appalachian Trail right above me. This is the northernmost point. That's amazing. 66 years old and just finished it. What a legend, right? Man, I did the Grand Canyon, which was 16 miles, longer hike, hardest I'd ever done at that point. This competes with it just because you have to off-road so much trails. Really, really hard. So beautiful though. So beautiful. Yes. Oh, I'll show you the sign. I'll show you the sign before we head out. I gotta know how it feels. How you feel now that you're done.
It feels good, right?
I bet it does.
It's not a through hike, it's a section hike. I've been sectioning since 2014.
Right, but you still finished.
I did.
That's amazing.
Still married and whole 9 yards.
You are an inspiration, sir. Oh. Oh. And there's the sign. 5,286 feet. Oh my goodness. That worth it. So worth it. Oh, so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh. Now let's go look at the sign real quick. Mount Katahdin. Oh. From 1932. Oh my goodness. 5,267 feet. That was so brutal. All right. Time to start heading down. I'm gonna get a few more GoPro batteries so I could film a little bit longer at the top of the next mountain, but stay a while, be free, and get out there and hike. Made it.